Hello, everybody. Welcome to Running Code, Humor in South Texas Law Enforcement. I'm your host, T-Bone. As always, with me is my partner, J-Man. J-Man, what's up?
What's up, everybody? I'm J-Man.
Today, before we start the show, it is 9/11/2023. Today, we'd like to start out the show with a quick homage to the 2,996 victims of those horrible attacks. So I'd like a moment of silence before we start. All right, thank you, folks. As always, please keep those families in your prayers and the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines that have given their lives ever since then to fight that battle. That's a horrible thing, and every 9/11 it sucks to have to remember it, but we remember it for a reason. So I don't know, J-Man, do you remember where you were when that happened?
Yeah, I was in the third grade.
I know you make me feel old.
Yeah, apologize.
Yeah, I was in Saudi Arabia already, watching it on the chow halls. The towers came down, so knowing that our world had changed right then and there, everything had just changed. So, folks, we're not trying to start on a downer, but we did want to get that out of the way. We feel that's very important that we don't forget and we remember the lessons learned from that the country seems to be forgetting all over again. So, on to the funny. Today we're going to talk about rookies. Rookies. Every cop was a rookie at one point and thought they knew everything out of the academy and always had a field training officer that come down on you like a bag of hammer if you had a good training officer. I had outstanding training officers. They were hard on me and they needed to be, and they were. And I didn't get away with anything. And it was annoying. They would climb every mistake I made, but what they did for a reason. But I got a million funny stories about being a rookie, the stupid crap I did. Now, J-Man, I'm sure you did your fair share of stupid shit when you were a rookie.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite ones was keying up on another agency's channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was real fun.
Oops. I've done that. Yeah, so, folks, we can actually switch our radios to other agencies' complete channels. In the age of terrorism, we have to have the ability to talk to any other agency. But if you're monitoring that channel and you forget you're monitoring that channel and you start keying up on their radio, their dispatchers get a little unhappy with you, and they'll remind you not so nicely that you're on the wrong channel. So you got any funny stories from when you were a rookie?
Yeah, I sure do.
I'd love to hear them.
And then it actually started with the whole me being on the wrong channel. Yeah, so I'm trying to make a traffic stop, and I'm just keying up. My call sign, traffic. I have traffic. Didn't hear anything. Now, my FTO, she knew I was on the wrong channel, but she was waiting to figure out if I knew I was on the wrong channel. Absolutely. And I wasn't told that I was on the wrong channel until my second time, and then someone tells me very kindly to go back to your main channel.
Yeah.
And by that point, it had already been a couple of minutes that the violator's just sitting there waiting. And for me personally, I don't like to have the violator wait before I get out and contact them. I like to just get out and contact them, and I've already done all my traffic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was funny. That was real funny.
I had a few boo-boos. I chased the wrong car.
It happens.
Yeah. When you're a rookie, though, if you're a senior officer and you do that, nobody's really going to say anything. They might give you a little ribbon. When you're a rookie and do that, you never hear the end of it. I chased the wrong car. It was a crap part of town, and the suspect vehicle took off, and we saw it pass. It made a right. Well, there was another car that looked just like it that also pulled in behind it, and I ended up chasing that, and that car ran too. So I'm thinking it's the correct car. So I chased the whole wrong car. Turns out that car just got a warrant and nothing to do with the original call. So win, if you want to look at it that way, kind of a win-win. Got somebody going to jail. I mean, isn't that the ultimate goal? Someone's going to jail, but not the guy that actually had beat up his wife. So win-lose.
Win-lose.
And I had to explain that to my boss. Why did I chase the wrong car? And to be fair to my FTO, he said, look, I thought it was the same car too. So he kind of backed that off. But boy, did I feel about an inch tall on roll call. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, you're learning everything. When you're new, you're trying to concentrate on the CAD and the radio and the people around you. You're driving a police car, you got a gun in your hip, you're trying to listen to the radio and your FTO's in your ear. If you have a good FTO who's constantly giving you feedback and talking to you, and you're overwhelmed at first, just trying to get used to all that. And after a while, you're just completely used to it, and you can actually concentrate on so many things at one time. But when you're a brand new rookie, all you can do is tunnel vision. CAD, and you just stare at the CAD.
Yep.
Or stare at the road and don't even listen to the radio. I mean, it takes a while, and if you've got a smart FTO, they're going to let you fall on your face a few times.
Oh yeah, like tone outs. When you're just so focused on whatever it is you're doing, and you're not listening to the radio, and all the status checks pass, and you still didn't even hear the tone out because you're so focused, and then you see everybody showing up, lights and sirens, and yeah, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah, because they ran 100 miles an hour. They dropped the calls they were on to come get you.
While you're taking your information report.
Yeah, while you're taking an information report that has zero emergency, zero exigency to it at all. Yeah, you feel like an idiot. And if you have a good sergeant, he's gonna call and tear you a new one, and then he's gonna tell you to write him a nice long report to explain that. You only have to write a couple of those if you're smart. You know, like we used to say when I was a drill sergeant, you can get smart or you can get strong, one or the other. And either your right hand's going to get really strong or you're going to get smart and pay attention to your radio.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm an FTO, not actively now that I'm in the traffic unit. You are an FTO.
Yes.
And in fact, are you currently training somebody?
No, I just finished.
You just finished? Mm-hmm. How did he, she, they do?
Oh, she did good.
I have to say they these days.
Well,
it's 2023.
She did really, really well. She already has prior experience, so.
Oh, she come from another agency?
Yeah. So
okay.
That wasn't really me training her to do anything specific. If anything, I was just learning. I was learning some things.
You know, that's true. You will learn as much from your trainees as they will learn from you.
Yep.
Just because they're new doesn't mean they don't have life experience behind them and may know something that you don't. A good FTO is smart enough to listen to his trainees.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if they're absolutely just fucking a scene up royally, yeah, you need to step in and stop that. But if they know what they're talking about and they know something better than you, what's wrong with you learning something from them?
Absolutely.
And so I learned just as much from my trainees as I ever taught them.
Yeah.
Good and bad. Like I used to tell my trainees, you're going to have 4 different field training officers during your 16 weeks. Take the good and the bad from each and every single one and make your own style. Find what works for you. And what works for me, it may not work for you. Personalities are different. Life experiences are different. You know, experience levels are different.
Yep.
I got lucky with all the trainees I had. None of them were prior law enforcement. So I didn't have to unbreak any bad habits, which was nice.
Yeah.
I'm sure you heard it once or twice with this last training you had, that in my last agency we did this, or I've done this before this way. Not always a bad thing.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah.
But it can get real annoying when it's constant.
Yeah, it can.
Well, in my last agency, I did this, and I used to do this, and I used to do this. It's okay, now you're doing it this way. So shut up and just do it this way.
Yeah.
They're driving, radio etiquette, they hold down the mic. It sounds like an airline pilot, and you're like, let go of the mic because I'm about to get hate mail on the CAD. And dispatchers will send you hate mail too.
Oh, yeah.
They'll send you a private message going, you tell them to unkey that mic. Oh, sorry about that. We'll get on that.
I think the driving thing was a little different for me because I did have a trainee that the driving was very funny. As far as, I didn't know if we were going to wreck every single time. So, I mean, yeah. I'm not saying I'm the best driver. You know, I'm not like Mario Andretti, but I'm also not like, I don't know, like I'm not like a video game like car driver or nothing like that. Yeah, but there were some points where I was legitimately terrified. I really was. I was like, we're going to crash, and then I don't know how I'm going to explain this. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Here, you can take the FTO pin back. I'll go back down and just be in no body slick sleeve. That's cool. At least I know I won't crash the car.
I'll tell you that I trust my driving. I don't trust anybody else's driving.
See, I think that's what it is.
And when you have a rookie in the front seat and their first time running code, their first time going lights and sirens, they're brand new at this. You're trying to pay attention to them and the road. And I'll tell you right now, I suck seat cushions into my pants because I'm just waiting to die from this brand new rookie that has not driven code before with lights and thinks everybody's going to get out of his way and everybody can hear him and see him. And you know better. And you're just like, oh, God, we're going to die today over a assault in progress at 99 out of 100 when you get there.
Suspect's
long gone. Hasn't been in progress for a while. And you just risked your life for nothing for a trainee's driving. And that was the hardest part, was just sitting in that right seat for 6 weeks, just praying to sweet Jesus they wouldn't kill you. And there was many a night where it's like, I'm driving today. I'm driving. You're going to be in the passenger seat. I'm driving. And I missed it too sometimes. I want to drive. I want to have a little fun. I want to run code today. But they need to learn. So I kept that as a minimum. But some days, no, I'm driving. You're in the passenger seat today. Sorry. You run the cat and the radio. I'm just going to drive. And we had a pursuit with my new trainee, and I made him handle the radio. Now, normally, if it's in a two-man unit, the passenger handles the radio. The driver concentrates on following him.
Right.
But because we don't normally run two-man units, I needed to know how would he handle the radio and driving and following at the same time. So I made him have the radio and made him call out the pursuit. And he didn't do too bad. Actually, he really didn't do bad. I was actually kind of impressed.
That's good.
So I had another one that I couldn't do both. So I was like, well, you're going to have to work on that because you're going to be by yourself once you graduate.
Yeah.
So, and you're not always going to have backup because folks who don't understand how pursuits work, if it's a single vehicle chase with one officer, that officer handles it all. The radio, the following, calling out where he's at until he can either get a helicopter overhead or he can get units behind him. Once a secondary unit shows up, they call the pursuit. You just concentrate on following the suspect. Mm-hmm. And our agency is such a large area, we don't always have the luxury of backup getting there anytime soon. So it's on you.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted my trainees to understand how to do all that on your own.
Yeah.
I need them to be self-sufficient. I need to know they can do it. When I sign their final evaluation off and cross my fingers that I didn't just unleash a demon on the road, because I'll be the one testifying at their trial. As did you train them this way? I did not. You show them this? I did not. So I didn't want to have that worry. So, and did you have similar? Did you have similar fears when you were training trainees?
Yes, I think probably every trainer until the point they retire has that same fear. I don't think it ever goes away because the newer officers are going to act a certain way to get the job. Because if they really are a demon, they're not going to let you know right away, unless they're extremely, stupid.
Yeah,
but
some are.
Typically, they want to perform a certain way, and they're going to make sure they perform to the standard because they do not want to be cut from the position. Now, once everything is all finished and they're oiled for a year or so, maybe the real them starts to come out, and then you see some of those goofs. But yeah, I think that's a fear I think I'll always have as long as I FTO. Kind of doesn't. I know I have the certification. I don't know. I may not even do it no more. I don't know.
It's a lot of responsibility.
It really is. It really is.
I know that being a training officer is like a relationship with a new person. Everybody's in their best behavior for 6 months.
Yeah.
And they can only hold it for so long, and then the true them starts coming out. So they may be the best trainee in the world and do everything absolutely correct, and they work harder on their reports than they normally would because you're watching them. And then when they get on their own, and then you start seeing their true work quality come out, and you're like, I didn't train you that way. Yeah, I didn't show that to you.
Energizer batteries, all of a sudden, ever-ready batteries.
I like that. Yeah, and the funny thing was, and keeping rookies away from the badge bunnies, and we will have an episode on badge bunnies another time. I used to tell, when I became an MTI, an Air Force instructor, first thing they told us was, don't get flattered. It's the hat, not you. Fast forward to being a cop, it's not you, it's your badge.
Yeah.
They don't find you attractive. And so having to keep my trainees away from the nurses, the hospitals, the women on traffic stops, like, hey, ignore them and just do your job.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to take your badge.
Yeah.
My dad gave me a good piece of advice, and I'm going to be crass here for a moment, listeners. Badge will get you pussy, pussy will get your badge. And that was as true 50 years ago as it is today.
Yeah.
It's probably the number one fastest way to lose your career. Number two, now these days is social media. Weirdly, excessive force coming in like a distant 10th. These days it's women and then social media. Those would be the first two that take your job.
Yep.
So I tell my trainees, it ain't worth it. If she likes you because you're a cop, you better run screaming from that woman. Tell me I'm wrong, J-Man. Tell me I'm wrong. How many times you been hit on when you know damn well that woman would not have hit you any other way?
Yeah, pretty
I've had it happen to me. I'm like, I know I'm okay. I'm not, well, I'm going to date myself, Fabio. But do you think you're the greatest looking guy in the world? And so it's not worth it. And so there's something mentally unstable about that. But we're going to have a whole episode on that at one point, guys, and you're going to get a good laugh.
Yeah, the episode probably won't be mental stability, but it'll be, badge bunnies.
Maybe we'll file that one under mental health. So it's through the world of trainees, you get all this responsibility, and it can be hilarious watching their screw ups because you were there once. The house, we all know the house. The address comes on the screen. You're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. We have a trainee on tonight. It's the trainee's turn to meet this couple. And we're all going to stand back and watch because we know that he's just going to dick it up like we all did the first time with this couple. And it's other units will start showing up to have just because they got nothing going on and they want to see like they recognize the address too. Like, oh yeah, let's see how this goes with this trainee. Like let's test his mettle.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the house where you know the guy that's always going to fight. Like, yep, all right, training. This you're going to enjoy this. This is Mr. Jenkins, and he loves to fight the cops, and he has a warrant, so he's going to jail. Get in there and get her done. You know, and I might let him flail around for a minute just to see how he handles it, and then I'm going to jump in and we're going to make it happen.
Right.
But I need to know like how he's going to handle it, and sometimes it's hysterical. And then you get trainees that surprise you. I had one, he straight up picked that dude up and body slammed him, and I was like, that will work. He rolled him over and cuffed him. I was like, okay, good job. I wrote down his eval. Not afraid to go hands-on. But I've had other trainees that de-escalation does have its place.
Yeah.
But there's a time to stop talking.
True.
And some people learn when that is. And some people take too long to learn it and they find out the very hard way. When the guy's trying to swing at you, it's time to stop talking. It's time to start swinging back.
Yeah.
And some people are so scared of getting in trouble, they just back up further and further and further and further until they trip over something the guy's on top of them.
Yeah. I think in the big push for de-escalation, which it is needed, but like you said, it really is, at some point, de-escalation is not going to continue to work. And you can't let somebody else that you're contacting dictate how the call is going to go. Because once you lose control, you look just as bad as if you were using not enough de-escalation. Because instead of people saying, well, the officers couldn't, they didn't talk to him enough, they just went to put hands on him, then it's like, these guys aren't professional, they don't know how to do their jobs. Look at what he did because they could not effectively control the situation. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
You're absolutely right. These days, the political climate we're in has made it a lot tougher on us. Everybody's so scared to go hands on and use force, and I've had to tell trainees like, there's nothing wrong with using force. Is it justifiable? Can you articulate why you did what you did? Can you articulate what he or she was doing that made you feel necessary that you were going to have to put your hands on them? Now, if you can do all that, well, then do your job. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to knock down the immediately hands-on. Just come here and put your hands on them before you even had a chance to talk to them and find out are they calm or they chill, and you get more out of them without putting your hands on them. Because once you put your hands on them, they're probably not going to be as willing to talk to you.
Yeah.
So if you treat them like a human being, and I've had knockdown, drag-out fights with people that they gave me no choice. But afterwards, I let them smoke a cigarette, uncuff them, put their cuffs in the front, let them smoke a cigarette, give them a bottle of water, and you'd be amazed what they tell you. You treat them like a human being.
Yep.
It's over. I don't start kicking them after it's over. They're in cuffs, telling them, hey, you idiot, you're a moron. No, it's over. It's done. It's not personal. It's a job.
Yeah.
And trying to get trainees to understand that, like, hey, they're still a human being. Yeah, it was a fight. Yeah, he tried to punch you. Okay, he tried to punch you. It comes with the job.
Yeah.
You're going to get hit in the mouth at some point.
Yeah.
You better have a plan.
Yeah.
And it's funny how many people don't have a plan when they get hit in the mouth. They just completely flabbergasted for a minute. Now, if this guy's a trained fighter, he's already going to be wading in with 2 and 3, the follow-ups.
Yeah.
And you're standing there trying to figure out how you got hit in the mouth. So keeping your composure is the hardest thing. And that's what I tried to get across to all my trainees is have a plan and then practice that plan. Mm-hmm. You get hit back immediately.
Yeah.
You may not get a full shot on him, but at least you might back him off enough to pull your taser if you feel that's necessary, or your baton, or just if you like fighting and you're jiu-jitsu and you like boxing, well, then go for it.
Yeah.
Just don't kill the guy, please. He doesn't need to look like he went through a meat grinder. And I can't. That's a little hypocritical of me. I've got a few that come into booking looking pretty mangled, but these are guys that fought all the way down. They were nothing was working.
Yeah,
you're gonna run into those.
Some are going to be determined to not go to jail. Yeah. That happens too, and I mean it is what it is.
You can't fix them all.
No,
we can't fix stupid. We can give it a court date.
Oh, well, there you go. That's one.
Yeah, we can put them in jail. They can be stupid with everyone else, and then you feel bad for the jailer that are stuck with them. That's not my problem. That's their problem.
Kind of funny. Yeah, that's true. Our rookie detention officer.
Oh yeah. Well, it depends on what unit. You if you run a mess with the rookie detention officers, you throw them in what we call what'd you used to call them when you worked the jail? And There was a term used.
Oh, you're talking about gladiator pods.
Yeah, but there was it wasn't not. There was another one, Rascal Pod.
Rascal pod, yeah.
Rascal Pod.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in that unit is just gonna push you and test you all day long.
Yep.
You're gonna work your whole shift.
Yep.
You're not gonna get any breaks.
There's and this still continues on to the whole rookie subject, because when I started in law enforcement, started as a detention officer for a large agency, so working in a very large county jail. Now, we had a shakedown coming to my unit. Didn't know. They're not going to tell you when a shakedown is coming in your unit. It's just not going to happen, because the officer could warn everybody.
Yep.
I better not. No one better find anything major in this unit. You better get rid of it now. And then no one finds anything. It's not the purpose of a shakedown. No. So a guy tells me, "Hey, I don't want to, use the restroom. Take the Browns to the Super Bowl in front of my cellie. Can I go next door and use the bathroom?" Now, me being a Jimmy Greenhorn or whatever like that, I let him go and do it, not knowing that a shakedown is coming. So as soon as I let him go inside the cell, he just wanted to what we call cell ride with his friend next door. Then the sergeant, lieutenant, and all these officers coming to my unit go ahead and pop the doors. I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm about to hear it. I'm about to hear it. Dude comes out. "What are you doing in that cell?" "Well, the officer let me." "Did you let him in there?" "I did."
What are you gonna say?
Nothing.
Not much you can. Yes, sir, I did. Take your lickings and
because
move on.
I could lie. I could lie and just say, "No, he's just making it up. I didn't even know." Well, that burns the other officer that I relieved, because then that officer didn't ensure that all the inmates were in the correct cell. Then I just look like a dishonest weirdo officer to all the other inmates. And trust me, that means something.
Absolutely.
If the inmates know that your word is bad, it doesn't matter what you do, because they will not listen to you. So
no, that's facts.
I took my lumps out. Took my lumps like a man. Went outside to talk with the sergeant in the corridor. It wasn't a happy conversation, but
I'll bet it wasn't.
hey, I was a green bean. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. I had my share as a rookie detention officer of screw-ups. I tried to keep it at the minimum, hope the major ones weren't as bad as I thought they were, and get the hell out of that building as soon as I could. But yeah, I had a few. And I was just like, you look at the inmates like, "You got me. You little bastard, you got me." Yep. That's all right, though. Payback's a bitch, and it comes back around. And sometimes it did.
Like, I got another funny story. So I relieve a unit from another officer, and the day's going good. The day's going really, really good. And then an inmate comes up to me, "Hey, sir, what's the problem?" "I need to go back to my unit." What are you talking about? So I did not know that somehow an inmate from across the hallway in a very different unit actually at some point during the previous officer shift snuck into the unit, and the officer never realized it, but the count was still fine, because there was someone scheduled to come to the unit that never actually arrived. So on the computer, the body count was right.
Oops. Oops.
And you want to know why he came over there? To get a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Because the good barber was in my unit.
Oh, that would have pissed me off beyond belief.
The good barber was in my unit.
That's when you call the unit across the hall and go, "Are you missing somebody?"
Yeah, because he made it through the whole count.
Yeah. "You missing somebody?" Yeah. Whoops. You at least could semi-justify that.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Your
you could.
count came up accurate.
Yeah, because, I mean, what can you do if the computer's showing one and you actually have the correct number of people in the unit? There's nothing you can do unless you think something is fishy and you still like triple check. But no fault to that officer, because I didn't even check it. I went around and counted, had the number of cards, the right number of people. It matched, it reflected. I called my sergeant, they verified it. It's all good. It was all grits and gravy.
Yeah. Yeah, until it became shit.
Until a dude came over. Yeah, "Hey, can I go to my unit?" What are you talking about? This is your unit.
That would have thrown me off too. I'd been like, "I'm sorry." say that again. Yeah, I'd have been pissed. On the law enforcement side, rookies, it may sound simple, but before the shift, I would ask them, "All right, let me see your driver's license. Let me have your credentials. Let me see your PIN." "I don't have a PIN." "You don't have a PIN." That's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
You guys listening may think, "What, non-officers, well, that's not a big deal." That's a very big deal.
Very big deal.
You better have 3 or 4 pins.
Yep.
Because when they disappear, they run out of ink, and there you stand there trying to write down information, and your pen runs out, and that's embarrassing as hell.
You better at least have a Sharpie marker.
You better have something. If you got to prick your finger with blood and use blood, you better write this information down, and nothing's worse than calling another unit, "Hey, you got an extra pin?" That's a problem. So, yeah, I would be agitated as hell. And so I'd be like, let me see your notepad. Let me see your pen. Let me see your handcuff key. I don't know how many would come out without a handcuff key.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
insane.
and how are you planning on taking the cuffs off this guy down at the jail? Well, you're going to ask the jailers for a handcuff. What if they go on too tight? In the fight, you get them on. Now they're way too tight now.
Can I borrow
you
yours?
You drive all the way down to the jail and hope his hands don't have nerve damage by the time you get down to the jail. And then you get to go to the FBI building and discuss that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you handcuffed him wrong. You know, it's stupid crap. It may sound little to other people. It's not little. And when's the last time you checked your taser and they turned it on as dead? Like, all right, good to know.
Flashlights?
Yeah, flashlights. Oh, I had a trainee, and I said, all right, weapons check. He didn't have a chambered round. Mag was full, but no chambered round. I'm like, so you'd have heard click instead of bang, and then you'd look down at your gun like an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, and I asked him why. Our policy requires that weapon to be charged. And he was like, well, I have kids. And? So?
Yeah.
Like, that boggled my mind. That's the one I mentioned in another show that I left at the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I ended up just ultimately leaving at the gas station because I was like, man, this dude's going to get me killed. I'd rather be by myself and take my chances. This dude will actually force the confrontation that gets me killed. You know, rookies, it's a different world. You're new. You're trying to impress everybody with your knowledge and your skills and how you're going to be a bad dude and you're going to always have their back. And, you know, it comes with time. It's just something that comes with time. You know, academies teach you just enough to get you killed.
Yep.
Just enough knowledge of the law to get it wrong. Your field training officer is just trying to teach you to survive and not get him killed. And then hopefully by the end of a couple of years, you've actually gained some experience and knowledge and you're still alive and around and go, okay, I was an idiot. And then when you become an FTO, the circle of life continues.
Yeah.
The only thing I really don't like is we have field training officers that are only FTOs because they want the extra pay. They don't actually want to train anybody. They don't want to mentor anybody. They don't want the extra hours. They don't want the extra time. But then they complain about the quality of the trainees.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's on you.
Yeah. Reflection of them.
And that's why I became a field training officer because I was tired of the quality of the rookies coming out. And I said, I can either complain or I can do something about it. So at least the ones I trained, I will know they were trained right.
Right.
Now, the next FTO, whatever he did with them, that's not on me. I did my job.
Yeah.
So I liked being a field training officer, and I enjoyed watching them grow and learn and watching them come into their own and seeing what kind of good officers they were going to be. And at the end of the day, I was pretty thrilled with the ones I had, with the exception of a couple that, like one at the gas station. No. Yeah, Sergeant's at the gas station. Go pick him up. He's done. I'm done. Send him back to the jail. He goes, go get him. Nope, I'm already on another call. I've already logged him off the CAD completely, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm done. I'm taking that 911 hang up. That's a mile and a half away. I'm not going back there. Nope. So, folks, being a rookie is not easy in this job. Being a cop is not easy at all, period. Being a rookie is even worse because you're in a organization with a bunch of testosterone and guys that have been doing it a while, and they forgot what it was like for them to be rookies, and they're going to give you shit, and it's not personal. The way we do it is if we give you shit, we're just trying to see, can you take it from us? Because if you can't take it from us, you're not going to take it from a citizen, and you're going to fire back at a citizen that's just having a bad day and just makes us all look bad. So they're not doing it to be mean. Mm-hmm. That's not the end goal. They're just messing with you. And, you know, if we like you, we mess with you. If we don't like you, we're not even going to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, and that was the same as I was in the service. It's the same as I've seen now in law enforcement. We're just messing with you to mess with you. Because that's what cops do. We're brutal. It is what it is. You got anything to add to that?
No. You said it perfectly.
All right. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed today's show. Again, keep the victims of 9/11 and their families in your prayers as we end this out. I want everybody to have a great week, a fun week, a safe week. Find the funny in whatever it is you do. We'll see you back here next week. J-Man, you got anything to add?
No. Everybody be safe. Have a good week.
All right, and we're out. Hey, if you like the show, check us out on Twitter or Instagram. Both are at T-Bone and J-Man. Like, follow, subscribe, send it out to your friends, send it out to your family. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach us there, and we'll give you a shout out on the show.